Hello guys, WoozyRacing here, back with another video. In our last video we finished with a third place podium finish. In this video we're going to be looking on improving on what we've already done. We're going to start with the one mini series as a warm-up on the Blue Moon Speedway infield A. It's 4 laps on the hard tyres. We've already done a couple of qualifiers and got a reasonable time, but we're looking on improving the time that we've already got so that we can start higher in the poles and have more of a chance of getting into the lead and trying to get a better position than the third place that we got in our last video. Jumping forward to the qualifying then, we'd already done a couple of laps at this point, and as you can see in the middle right of the screen, our current best time was a 1:30.358. But as we crossed the line here at the end of this lap, we actually managed to shave a full second off the time. It's going to help us tremendously getting higher up in the poles and challenging for that first place finish. Looking at the grid then, and we've pulled in 8th place. Not really ideal. I was hoping for at least a top 5 with the time that we got, but there are a lot of good drivers on Gran Turismo Online, so 8th place is just what we're going to have to go with for now. We are towards the middle of the pack where the chaos does happen, and it's not really where we want to be. We just want to get through the first 2 corners as smoothly as possible and stay up with the leaders. The Mini Cooper is a lot slower than the cars we've been driving previously. Up until this point we'd only really been driving in Group 3 with the Mercedes AMG and the BMW M6, so a lot faster cars. This was a little bit of a change, as you can see on the first corner. I always seem to get panicky in the first corner and cut someone's racing line off and then get pushed wide as we come out of the corner and drop a couple of positions. So not really an ideal start for me. As we come into turn 2 then, keep your eyes on the Spaniard in front in the white Mini. He goes wide on the first corner and brushes against the wall. He then comes across, cuts off the Italian, almost sends him off the track, and then oversteers going into turn 3. He then bounces off the wall, pushes the Italian into us. We can do nothing to get out of the way, and we end up with the 1 second penalty. The Spaniard doesn't get a penalty at all. Really harsh. We switch over to radar view, which is in the bottom right, and as you can see, the Italian just dives in, smashes us in the side, pushes us off to the side of the track, and then we get another 2 seconds on our penalty for colliding with cars.
What? What the fuck?
After that, I just had to watch the replay. Clearly we go wide, we keep a smooth racing line, we don't cut across, and we just get barreled off the track, hit twice, pushed onto the grass, and we're the only one who gets the penalty. Nobody else gets a penalty for colliding with cars. I know the penalty systems aren't perfect, but wow, clearly we hadn't done anything wrong going around that corner, and it just completely ruined the race for me. Being the only person with a 3 second penalty, it's going to slow us down so much, and everyone else is just going to run away. Coming up to the penalty line then to save our ridiculous penalty, and we just wave goodbye to everyone else in the race. Dead last at the moment. This race couldn't have gone any worse from where we started. We were quite optimistic coming into it, but it's all gone downhill. So, after all that controversy, we end up finishing in 11th place. Second to last for us. I was so annoyed with how the race had went, I decided to give it another shot and go in for round 2. Coming into race 2 then, we didn't bother trying to improve our qualifying time. We stuck with the 1:29.356 for now. And as you'll see as the grid comes up here, we end up in pole position. First place on the grid. Gran Turismo trying to make it up to me for the controversy in the last race and those dodgy penalties. Nerves start to kick in. First time I've been pole in a race, so we'll just have to see how we get on. So here we are then, my first pole start. All I was thinking at this point is don't balls it up on the first corner. Let's get the first lap in, nice and smooth, settle into the race a little bit, and then see where we can go from there. Coming into turn 1, feeling the pressure, we're a little bit late on the brakes, which wobbles us, and then it sends us wide, and at this point we realise that WoozyRacing doesn't get nice things in life. As we go careening into the barrier at 84 miles an hour. Stops us dead, and the entire field go past. From first place to last place on the first corner. Unbelievable. It must be some sort of Gran Turismo record, but not the kind of record we are after, from pole to last on the first corner. I'm pretty sure we hit an invisible wall, which is why we were stopped dead. As the race progressed, we ran up a couple of positions as we passed these two into 8th, and then chased the Turkish guy in a slipstream down the straight. As we come back round to turn 1, we decide to send it on the inside of the Turkish guy. We hold a nice line as we go through, we don't understeer too much, follow it round, and I was quite pleased with this move, up onto the back of 6th and 5th as well, clean as you like. A couple of corners later, the guy in 5th runs wide and goes onto the grass, losing momentum. We get the run on him along the straight, we'll take that position, thank you very much. As we come round to the hairpin, we go on the inside, we get our braking down quite nice, and if you just look on the radar in the bottom right, as he cuts back across, he just decides to push us off the track, bumps us off, no penalty, and we drop down to 8th place. We managed to get ourselves back up into 7th behind the guy who barged us off earlier. As we approached turn 1, I was thinking about just going in for a full revenge, but as soon as I saw him start to go wide, I dived down the inside as quick as possible, got another little nibble off him as we came out of the corner, but managed to take the position up into 6th behind 4th and 5th. Unfortunately, our race position didn't change after that as we try and get the run on the Dutchman in 5th towards the line, but unfortunately he just keeps a nose in front and we finish in 6th place. It could have been a lot better with that pole start, and it could have been a lot worse after that turn 1 when we were in last place, so 6th is probably as average as it's going to get. At this point I decided to give up on the mini-series and go back to the Group 3 Fuji Speedway race with the Mercedes AMG to see if we could get any better results than the 3rd place finish that we got in the last video. So back to the Fuji Speedway we go. We didn't bother with any more qualifying, we stuck with the 142.3 that we managed to get in the last video. Once the grid comes up now, you'll see that we started in 8th place, so familiar territory for us. We know the script at this level. Surviving the first corner is everything. If we can get round that first corner, we might be in with a chance of a podium or maybe even a win. So we join the slipstream of the cars in front in 8th place for now. Coming up to our favourite corner, turn 1 in any race, because it usually leads to disaster for us. Fortunately this time we're not too late on the brakes, we bumped the back of the GTR and then the back of the Aston Martin, but we get round the corner and we don't pick up any penalties. The Mercedes in front picks himself up a 1 second penalty, but we managed to get ourselves up into 6th place with no penalties. As we come round the second corner, the Mercedes brakes a little bit too hard in front and we give him a little bump in the back, nothing major. As we follow it round Coca-Cola corner, easy on the throttle so we don't slide too far wide and just take our time. This GTR decides to send it on the outside as the Hurricane a couple of places in front spins out. A couple of seconds later the Beetle follows him and spins out as well, so now we're up into 4th place coming down 300R. 3rd place in front with a 1 second penalty. The only concern now is when he serves his penalty, we will be able to stay into the slipstream of 1 and 2. GTR just sends himself off into the shadow realm. All we've got to do now is keep it cool through these next 3 corners and stay with the pack in front. Coming up to the penalty line then, the Mercedes serves his penalty and we move up into 3rd place. It's now up to us to chase down the 2 911s in positions 1 and 2. We end up having a good lap and closing the gap to positions 1 and 2. We get back onto the straight where something really peculiar happens. First, 2nd place runs onto the grass ever so slightly, and then 1st place just completely goes onto the grass and loses all his momentum. We send it up into 1st place. Really confused by what happened. As we come into turn 1, 911 goes on the inside, 1 comes barreling on the outside, almost spins out completely. We drop down into 2nd place, but we really are in a position now where we can win this race. Coming up to the next corner and the 911 brakes early, I think that's more him braking early than me braking too late, and we just bump him wide and go up into the lead. So all we've got to do now is keep it as cool as possible as we go around the rest of this track, not pick up any stupid penalties, not spin the car out, and go for that win. We managed to keep it together for the rest of the lap until we come to this corner. We come into the corner too tight, which pushes us wide on the exit, and we get no momentum on the straight. The Mercedes behind starts to look for a slingshot. He's going to use our slipstream to shoot himself past into first place. He makes the move on the inside. As we turn the corner, we try to cut back across him but end up bumping him instead, and he goes up into first place. As we come into the next corner, I feel a Mercedes brakes too hard and we bump him wide. I didn't mean to do it again, exactly the same as the 911 in the last lap. Probably is just my poor driving, but we get back up into the lead on the final lap. Just keep it as tidy as possible through these next few corners. I really was feeling the pressure here, didn't want to make a stupid mistake and spin out on the final corner. Round the final corner, little look behind, and there's enough of a gap for us to take our first victory. And there it is then, my first ever online race win. I've got to be honest, I was pretty chuffed with myself. The driving was a little bit reckless at times throughout, but we got a clean race, no penalties, and we finished in first place, so I was made up with myself. Once back in the lobby, the Frenchman in the Mercedes who we pushed wide on the final lap sends us a message. I'm still not sure if he was being sarcastic or not. I really enjoyed making this video. Thank you if you've made it all the way to the end. If you do enjoy the content, then please leave a like and subscribe as I'm making more videos like this one in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.